Hey folks, welcome back to our Dice Tower preview. I'm Mark, and today we're taking a look at Gosh Darn Bubbles. Gosh Darn Bubbles is brought to you by Sandwich Bag Games. It's for 2 to 4 players, ages 14 and up, and games range anywhere from 5 to 20 minutes. Gosh Darn Bubbles is a casual, yet lighthearted themed underwater card game. Easy to play, easy to learn, with lots of strategy. Now, your goal here is to be the first player to acquire 3 treasures. And how you do this is by searching and finding and playing Sunken Chests. These Sunken Chests allow you to draw more cards from the deck, but beware, if you draw a bubble card, you lose the treasure. All right, let's take a closer look at how this works. Now, as you'd expect from a small card game like this, setup is very straightforward and easy. You're going to take the treasure deck and place it face up in the middle of the table. You take the main deck, shuffle it up, and deal 3 cards to each player, and then you're ready to begin. The main actions in this game is that you look at your 3 cards, and they all have different abilities, different things that will trigger when you play them. You're going to be discarding a card and then doing what it says. And that's really the basics of the game. But there's a lot of different actions that the cards will enforce and apply to what you're doing. So let's take a closer look at the cards. All right, so let's first take a look at probably the 3 main cards that you want to be concerned with throughout the game. The big one you're looking for is that Sunken Chest. When you discard this card from your hand, then you will pull 3 cards from the main deck, and if any of those cards happen to be the bubble card, it will force you to lose the treasure. However, if you don't, you just discard those cards. If the bubble doesn't show up, then you gather a treasure. You gather the treasure and put it in front of you. And that's really that simple. You're looking for 3 of these. Now, putting a card in front of you can be disrupted by other players. They can play additional cards that have other actions that can remove cards that are in front of you. So there is a bit of take that. But let's take a look at some of the other cards. And so to illustrate some of that take that, let's first take a look at the Jerk Face Shark. This card will allow you to discard 1 card in front of any other player. And obviously this includes treasure cards, but there might be other cards that they've played in front of them as well. But really, this is a way to reduce someone's treasure stash and allow you to catch up. So there are lots of different things these cards are going to do. There are cards like the Bubble Seal that is going to force the player who tries to use a Sunken Chest to draw more cards, thus increasing their chance of getting more bubbles. So these cards are going to be wide and varied. And as you play them, it's really that simple. You're going to just discard it and perform the action at the bottom. And again, there's a wide range of things. You can force players to discard their hand. You can force players to give you one of their cards, or you draw a card randomly from their hand. You can also increase your hand size. This is something we haven't really talked about. There is the extra tentacle, adding an extra card to your hand each turn, because you do have a card limit of 3. However, you could start your hand with more than 3 because you might acquire cards throughout the round. However, you have to end your turn with only 3 cards, but the tentacle would give you more. So again, lots of different things going on with these cards, lots of different strategies, and in the stretch goals, they're going to have even more cards with more actions. And the other thing to be on the lookout for is there are many cards in this deck that get put in front of players that will permanently affect them throughout the game until they are removed by another card. And then of course, the first player to get 3 treasures is going to win the game. All right, folks, just a reminder once again, this has been a Dice Tower paid preview. Everything you've seen here has been in prototype form, so keep a close eye on the campaign for any changes that may occur. Now, the thing about this game, again, is that it's super light, super casual. It is lighthearted, but there are some take that here, so you have to keep that in mind. And it is a very accessible game, easily taken with you, played at lunchtime, out at dinner somewhere, really easy to engage with. But ultimately, folks, if this looks like a game that would be of interest to you, I'm sure they'd appreciate your support. So I think that's it from me, and until next time, we'll see you at the table.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at DicetowerNetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching the Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool Stuff, in stock. Check them out at coolstuffinc.com.